Hello everyone, welcome back to this YouTube channel, and in today's presentation video we are going to discuss about squid dissection and its anatomy. This slide shows you a brief overview of the contents being discussed today. We are firstly going to begin with preparing the materials required for the dissection. The table here outlines the materials which are going to be required, however the microscopes are optional as they are only used to analyze certain structure of the squid anatomy. This picture is a clear depiction of all the materials that you will need for the dissection only. To prepare yourself, firstly clean your workplace and carefully set the materials required next to the specimen for easier application. Keep some clean tissue papers at the side as the ink sac present in the squid can rupture if you're not careful with the dissecting scissors. Before we make an incision, we are going to observe the external anatomy of the squid and discuss about the relation of these structure with their adaptations. Here is a labeled diagram for the external anatomy of the squid. The tentacles can be easily distinguished from the arms because it is at least twice as long. Both the tentacles and arms are attached to the head of the squid. From this picture we can observe that there are 8 arms and 2 tentacles. The function of the tentacle is to grab onto the food or prey and brings it closer to their jaw, which is also called the beak. The jaws are located at the base of the mantle. Next, we see the water jet, which is located on the ventral side of the squid, and the purpose of it is to aid in movement. They also have 2 eyes on each side of their head. The eyes consist of an iris, a lens, vitreous cavity, and pigment. Squids also have chromatophores, which are pigmented cells that allow them to change the color of their skin in different situations such as hunger, communication, anger, camouflaging to protect them from predators or to catch prey more easily. In order to successfully capture their prey, they have suckers on their arms as shown in figure 1. These suckers have minuscule teeth on them made from protein that allow the squid to provide more adhesion when grabbing the prey. The squids have 2 large eyes on side of their head. In figure 2, the eye has been removed from the eye socket and submerged in the black pigment. We can see the transparent lens. The pen shown in figure 3 extended through the entire body of the squid and was approximately 16.5 centimeters long in length. The morphology of the pen resembles a feather, and its primary function is to provide structural support and to serve as a site for muscles to attach. The evolution of the pen must have been followed by the increase in the level of predators, and the presence of protective shells would have interfered with their ability to escape faster without drawing much attention. Thus, over time the ancestral shell was lost as natural selection favored soft-body mollusks. The pen also helps to stabilize the squid while it's swimming. In figure 5 and 6 we can see the jaw of the squid, which was removed with the assistance of tweezers. The scale is placed to provide measurements for these given structures. Figure 7 also depicts the overall width of the squid body, and it is approximately 4.5 centimeters. To examine the internal anatomy, we place the squid on its dorsal side up and then with assistance of dissecting scissors began to cut along the ventral midline of the mantle. The incisions were made by carefully placing the scissors only along the surface, pulling away from the internal organs to prevent any form of damage. After laying the specimen flat, the ink sac was the prominent feature as it had been slightly ruptured, causing the black ink to spread along the body. If this happens, just dab to remove the excess black ink with the help of a clean tissue. Try to keep your workspace clean as the black ink can stain your specimen, causing you difficulties while making observation. The color of the ink is black because it is primarily composed of melanin. The release of the ink is part of its defense to escape the predator, and the mechanics involves contraction of muscular walls and a pair of sphincters. The stomach of this squid is empty, and if it was full the stomach will be protruding outwards. This is shown in the next slide and is labeled as figure 10. By observing the gonad of the squid, which is located towards the fins, we can conclude that this squid is a female. The males will generally have a white gonad and females on the other hand usually have a yellow or clear gonad. Squids mainly obtain oxygen through their skin via the process of simple diffusion. The uptake of oxygen is also facilitated by the gills because the squids lack blood vessels at the surface of their skin. Thus, the oxygen absorbed through the skin is usually slower in comparison to the gills. The gills has been marked by yellow arrows in figure 9. In figure 10 the yellow arrow represents that the stomach of the squid is full, and it probably had a heavy meal right before. This part of the presentation focuses toward the microscope examinations. They were conducted using the compound and stereo microscope to examine the teeth and the lens. From figure 11 to figure 13, it shows the step-by-step procedure used to extract the teeth from the suckers. Firstly, you must carefully remove one of the suckers from the arm, usually tweezers, then place the sucker on a clean microscopic slide. With the assistance of tweezers, slowly try to remove the teeth from the surface of the suckers. Then, using the compound microscope at the 4x magnification, you can clearly view the teeth as shown in figure 13. The image here shows the lens under the stereo microscope. This lens have a high resolution and allows the squid to see the image in the water clearly. In order to closely visualize the lens of the squid, you will have to dissect the eye further to separate the contents and then put the lens under a microscope to observe. By viewing the lens under the microscope, we can see how easily the light was able to pass through it. Thank you for watching this video and please subscribe for more.